Welcome to the early August update of London 1940. So, this month, basically, or really last month, I moved to a free GitLab account, which means I cleaned up a bunch of stuff. I got to know a bunch of our legacy stuff associated with the previous name of my simulation, and a bunch of additional stuff that was just here. And a lot of the huge London maps, I just removed them because you can now download them. So I've consolidated everything. The Bob Deep I'll talk a bit about maybe. But really, the London 1940 directory now has everything that we need in here. This is what rotates the maps. I've actually added something to the map edit software that enables rotation as well. So you can manually rotate it, get the numbers out of map edit, and just use those numbers then to generate the London maps. And I think I'll probably, I don't know, sometime this month, hopefully, get that done. The urban stuff is in here. Obviously, you take the APSDK, README, and roadmap and other stuff. Oh, and this is the source file to get the London maps, which you just download from barbalay.com. So basically, there was a bunch of stuff on GitLab that were just really large files and completely unnecessary. And I also have been working on the continuous integration, continuous development, and this doesn't actually produce any output now, which it did previously, which obviously takes hard disk space and other things. But this basically, the generate has been a big one for this month as well. So I'll just go there. Where was it? Map generate, I believe. And this actually creates a whole bunch of different stuff associated with the images that are available. A small number of images that are included directly from the source in GitLab, but this builds the toolkit, SDK JSON, which does the JSON analysis and parsing, and then goes through all these things, runs Bob Mottram's map to JSON. I'm going to rewrite some of that currently. The main issue is just what happens to the buildings. I'll probably record a video about the buildings coming up. But yeah, the buildings just aren't quite square. So I thought, okay, well, what software do I have that can deal with aren't quite square? And I found libdeep, which was Bob Mottram's basically deep learning library, machine learning, used by a lot of different students and scientists and stuff. And I've kind of turned it inside out, basically. And I'm working on, it's still here down as libdeep. So I think I might actually call it Bob Deeper or something like that. To pay homage to Bob Mottram, who is still alive. He's still out there somewhere, but he's just not actively kind of communicating and contributing with the project. So basically, this is his libdeep software. And I was thinking about like whether I use libdeep more or whether I just dig into the map to JSON. And I think probably, while machine learning aspects of buildings is probably a really good idea, and having a kind of dense machine learning model might be very useful to deal with the London maps. As I showed in the last video, there are 4 of them. Getting them correctly, rotated and linked together and proper grid geometries and things like that, London map will do. But really, the map software that Bob Mottram wrote is about doing map analysis and parsing it and creating out, JSON files that then can be easily picked up and run against the APSDK and simulated, basically, which is really the meat and potatoes of the London 1940 development. And things like occupations and stuff like that, that's coming up. But I just want to get the London maps right because it's been a bit too long. I mean, I think the whole nature of this project is it also happened at the same time that my daughters were born. So it's been a bit too long. It's just the nature of, having now 14-month-old little girls. But yeah, I think actually getting the London map data properly rotated, combinationally rotated, tileable, all that kind of stuff, which I've been really looking to do for probably at least the past 6 months of the past year, is something that needs to happen. And certainly when we moved from C-Line, or when I moved from C-Line to London 1940, there was just a huge amount of stuff that was simplified, and the map data went from 3x3 of these large maps to just 2x2. And really not even 2x2. We can probably cut into them a little bit as well. So all this stuff is coming up. But like I say, the big thing is just moving to London 1940. So GitLab Barbalay London 1940, just as a means of putting all the software together, basically. And I don't know about Bob Deep. I don't know if I'm going to get into that. It was kind of a, let's work through part of this project and let's work through another part of this project. I mean, the nature of this kind of open source is always about, you work from the corners in, and sometimes you have a run of getting into the corners, and sometimes you just find dead ends and stuff like that. So I think the main thing that I'm working on currently is just getting a defined, probably what will end up with 16 by 16 tiles for the London map, and then just getting into probably the map JSON initially, just map to JSON, just to initially get JSON files out, and then get heavily into the map edit if necessary. But I think there are still a few improvements yet in Bob Mottram code associated with getting your right angle geometry and things like that, which is absolutely critical for the map stuff. So to be continued. Most of this month, like I say, has been about consolidating and just working out how to become a free member of GitLab once again. I'm a long-standing, and you might find YouTube videos that I put out 2016 through to about 2018 talking about my thorough enjoyment and preference for the GitLab platform, and that still remains true. Unfortunately, they just don't have a hobbyist subscription model. They have you're making, well, hundreds of thousands of dollars through your open source, which never really has been anything even remotely close to what I am. So yeah, I have a strange relationship with GitLab currently, because I'm just like, I really probably just want a free account now. And so a lot of this month has just been moving down my account, paring it down, removing stuff. I mean, Monkey Mind was an interesting project which never really went anywhere. EcoSim is a long historical project which is also on GitHub. Mushroom is basically urban. Narrative, not really applicable. Theatre of the Mind was a Bob Mottram project. Just Plain Chaos, again. 8 Toolkit is still there. It's still in the Ape SDK, as is shown here. So, a lot of the stuff was just like cleaning up. We've got way too many large maps of London, just littering half a dozen of these. But a lot of that's been cleaned up now. So, free membership going forward, and probably something that looks a lot more like a true hobbyist, which is the nature of this project. Anyway, Tom Barberley in Las Vegas, Nevada, signing out.